Oh my gosh. I just realized that my headset was down. And when it's down, it's like I have a new headset. So when it's down, it's off. It's like turned off. So my last episode, I'm just gonna have to yeet it into the trash because my audio is missing. That's okay. There wasn't any like cutscenes or anything. It was just more of this. So what I was talking about was I'm gonna sell my Nintendo Switch. And for a lot of people that's probably like, what? But I think for even more people, it's like, yeah, same, bro. Because, you know, it's not just Nintendo. This isn't ripping on Nintendo. In fact, Nintendo, shockingly, is the least offender of this whole situation. There's been, like, every game company is... Oh, that thing was from the Demon Shaft, I believe. Every game company, mainstream, like I should say AAA company, I'm not talking about indie games at all. Indie games are precious. Oof. What is going on there? Oh, I'm whipping the element back at him. That's super weird. Indie games are precious. We're not complaining about them. We're talking about the guys that make consoles, right? So we're talking about Microsoft, aka Xbox, and we're talking about PS5, and we're talking about Nintendo. These guys have just been going down the tubes for a long time, and we're all kind of sick of paying to float these CEOs, right? So, with Nintendo, at the very least, they have been treating their employees, like, pretty well. So, I will oh my gosh, what is with the damage in this game? Get out of my face. Oh, you see what I mean? Everything does slightly too much damage in this game. I'm thirsty. What was this? Nintendo has been doing better in that they don't treat their employees like complete trash. So, huzzah, I guess. But as far as, like, being a customer goes, there isn't anything particularly fun about being, like, a Nintendo fan from what I can see. Like, it seems like they've also gone the way of in-app purchases and subpar releases that are glitchy, and there's very few games coming out. They're not really putting money into innovation. There's just not really a lot going on that's thrilling with Nintendo, especially on the Switch, which is pretty much all they're running at the moment. I gotta keep picking these things up to see if there's fuel in them. And they just released, or announced, I'm not sure if it's out yet, a new version of the Switch, which is gonna finally have a decent screen, which is really ridiculous. Really ridiculous. Like, I've had the Switch for years, and I have, like, maybe 5 games on it total, so I've barely played the thing, and there's just not really been any games where, like, ooh, I gotta have that, I'm excited to play that, especially since you can't record on it. I find it a little barbaric that you can't record your gameplay. I just never understood that about Nintendo. I'm just really into documenting my gameplay. I think that's a big part of gaming. If I don't document it, I don't always, like, feel the pressure to finish it, but, like, with this channel, I'm finishing tons of games because, like, it's there. I can see on my channel, it's like, oh, I haven't finished it. Whereas if it's just a pile of games, it's just a pile of games, you know? So being able to, like, record a game is a big part of the gaming experience to me. And so I find it a shame that, Wow, fancy. That Nintendo is just so afraid of their fans, you know? So the fact that I can't record on the Switch, it makes me not want to play any of the games. Ugh, that I do actually. Whoa. Wow, stop it. Ah! It makes me not want to play any of the games that I do have on it. And the ones that, you know, I have played, I feel really bad that I can't record it. So it's kind of like a negative experience for me all around. And there's so few games also on it that it's like, why do I have this thing? You know, why do I actually have this thing? It's just collecting dust. I'm not playing it at all. There's no games I'm looking forward to. And it has such a bad screen that it's really unpleasant to look at. It's so smeary in like a cheap way. Like they really cheaped out on the screen, which is like confusing, right? The Nintendo Switch has a worse screen than like the Game Boy SP. It's really bizarre. It doesn't make sense. Like, why? How is the screen so bad? Can I kill you with... Yeah, I can, actually. That's funny. That's what happens when you max out your weapons. Yeah, it has a worse screen than any other Nintendo product I've tried, short of, like, the original Game Boy from the 80s, you know? So, it's just really confusing to me. Hey, baby.
Which shall it be? Very good.
It's not a pleasant gaming experience. Oh, a trumpet gun. At all, on top of the fact that there's no games. Like, the original Game Boy, there's a bunch of Game Boy games that I would love to play, and I plan on doing playthroughs of, whether Nintendo likes it or not. So, you know, whereas the Nintendo Switch, there's like 2 games that I've enjoyed, and one of them I can actually play on my phone, so I can play on the Retroid, because it's Android based, and I can record it. Wow. So, yeah, so it's like Nintendo wants you to pay a lot of money for this pretty low quality device, and they don't want to actually support how you want to play. They want you to play how they want you to play. And they want they want you to... It's so weird. They want you to play their games how they want, on their terms, and pay them money to do it, and pay them in-app purchases to do it, and it's like, no, no, no. This is a totally toxic relationship. I play games because I want to have fun, you know? It's like, you think about it, if you're dating somebody, and they always wanted to be in control of every date, and everything you did, and everything you wore, and how you addressed them, and how much money you spent, and where you went, you just wouldn't put up with it. It would be like, you know, I enter a relationship because I want the positivity of a relationship to be in my life, not because I want, like, to be manipulated and controlled and conned out of money and time. And that's what it feels like dealing with a lot of these mainstream companies now. Okay, so that's one of those goofy ones now. We can't go that... I don't want to go any further. I want this. Give. Oh, thanks. That's not very helpful. Yeah, so it's just all around really kind of like, ooh. And it doesn't seem like it's getting any better. There's no way that I'm going to spend the extra money for the new Switch when there's still no good games for it, you know? The only thing Nintendo's putting out now is another Mario game. I don't really care about Mario. Another Zelda game. I really don't care about Zelda. Or another Pokemon game. And the Pokemon games they're putting out are like cheap, glitchy, blindingly bright palettes. Boring Pokemon designs aside from like 1 or 2 that's just very poorly balanced anyway. So you have to use those 1 or 2. And it's bad. It's just really bad. We're the Roly-Poly Brothers. Oh, okay. Cool. Yeah, so it's just bad. It's like, why am I keeping this thing when it's just really a brick? It's not entertaining. It's not making my life better. I'm not enjoying having this thing at all. I'm enjoying having the Retroid. It's phenomenal. And so, yeah, so I'm just gonna sell my, my Nintendo Switch at this point. It just doesn't seem like... It just doesn't seem like there's a particularly good reason to keep it. At all. Especially since the screen is just terrible. So even if I didn't care about recording things like I really do, it's not nice to play. And it's just not nice to have, you know? And it's not nice to carry around. It's like a handheld system for carrying around that's big and bulky and doesn't fit in your pocket. It's really absurd. It's just a very strange, poorly thought out thing in my opinion. And as a lover of handheld consoles and somebody who really enjoyed Nintendo for a long time, it's just kind of disappointing all around, honestly. So, whoa, here he comes. I gotta start blocking. Yeah, there's not a lot to it. The last game that I was actually legitimately excited to play on the Nintendo Switch, an exclusive, was Monster Quest, a new Monster Quest. There hasn't been a new Monster Quest for like 10 years. And so, I love that series. I love all monster games. So, when I heard that, I was absolutely just out of my mind, psyched to play it. And so I got it and I played it. And now I have nothing to play on the Switch. It was good. But I would have rather played it on the Retroid, to be honest, or PC, so I could have recorded my adventure. Because as always, like, I want to be able to share my adventures. I don't want to just, like, sit there in a corner and play a game and not talk to anyone. You know what I mean? Like, I do play games just for myself, for relaxation. Why are you not attacking? Sometimes you get stuck in a little flip. But overall, like, I like to beat games. I like to beat them. So, to me, being able to share a game is a really big part of beating a game. Being able to be a part of a community, put it up there, and be like, hey, you can beat games too. You can finish the games in your library. But if I can't share it, like I said, it's just kind of another game in a pile. And what does it actually matter if I beat it or not, you know? Here, I have a documentary, list of all these games I've never played before and now I've beaten. And it's cool. It's a cool accomplishment. Yeah, and so the only other game that I had really got, like, excited about was a game called I think it's called Cat Quest. And it's a really silly, really cute little game. And I will definitely be playing a playthrough of it because that's not an exclusive. So the only other game that I really had a positive experience with and beat on the Switch, not even a Switch exclusive. So, you know, Nintendo is having the same issues that every other major company is having in that they really ceased to put an investment into the original game titles. And they're just kind of doubling down on pushing out more content, tired content, of the same IPs that were kind of like their titles. So it's like there's no side games. But, you know, a lot of the really amazing gems were side games. Like, yeah, you know, the Call of Duty players liked the Call of Duty games, but they also like Medal of Honor and Battlefield and, you know, these other games that are a similar experience. Ah! Oh, I hate Rockonoffs. Ivanov. Oh, jeez, finish him off. I wonder why they called him Ivanov. That's weird. Get out of here. I cannot stand you things. I never could. Least favorite things from the original. Aside from those freaking moles, man. Those are bad. Is that another Rockenoff? I refuse to call it Ivanov. Ignorant name. Go ahead, roll. Ugh, we just choose on you now. That's very bizarre. Alright. Yeah, like I'm playing a side title now. This is not, you know, Star Wars or Call of Duty, obviously. This is a PS2 game that, like, a lot of people played. I don't think it was a greatest hit or anything, but it's, you know, it's the side games that are really kind of the jewels. In my opinion. And these companies are just not investing in side games. So it's kind of falling to the indie game makers, and they're not developing for these systems exclusively. They're like porting to them maybe later if they don't mind the huge amount of debt that goes along with it, which most people don't. So they just kind of put it up on Android and Steam and call it a day. So, and who can blame them? And like, we're doing that too with our indie Pantomime Studios indie titles. It's just not feasible to work for these companies anymore, to work with them. And it seems like they just don't want original titles. They just want to keep hammering it out with the same garbage over and over and over, and not even doing a good job at it too, you know? So it's just a shame. So yeah, it doesn't seem like there's going to be a title for the Switch coming out anytime soon that's good. I can't record on the thing, so half my fun is gone already out the door. And the screen is miserable. Like, what is the point of having a handheld console, so you have to have the screen on it, you can't plug it into a TV, not have a good screen? It makes zero sense to me. Okay. So it's just kind of it's a bad experience all around, and I'm done. I'm done with the thing being a brick in the corner of my room, you know, collecting dust. So I'm gonna sell it. I'm done. I'm done with Nintendo. And Nintendo was the last one that I really had faith in. You know, I got rid of my PS3 a long time ago. I have actually a PS2 in my room. But honestly, that's out the door too. Because I'm playing the PS2 on the Retroid constantly. I don't play the PS2 anymore, because again, you cannot record on a standalone console like that. So it just doesn't support how I want to play. And like, what is the point if you don't support the way that I want to play? It doesn't make a lot of sense to me. It should be my choice. I'm the gamer. I'm the one paying for the experience, you know? It's not for you to decide how I like to enjoy my hobbies, you know? Just because you make the console. You should make it to serve me, the gamer. And instead, these companies have got like this attitude that we should, as the consumer, be grateful to them when it's because of us that they exist, you know? So it's all gotten kind of hazy and turned around and strange, and you know, it's time that we kind of take our power back as consumers, you know. And I don't hate you if you like Nintendo. I think you're crazy. No, I don't. They make cute games. At least they used to make cute games. So I feel like a lot of people are really stuck in nostalgia goggle territory, and it really sucks to have to let go. But you know, as a minimalist, there's no reason for me to cling to this stuff and be like, maybe they'll change. They're not going to change. They're not ever going to change. So I'm going with Retroid. And yeah, I'm just over it. I'm really over it. So the Nintendo was the last system that I was holding on to. I've got like a PS2. I don't play that even anymore, even though PS2 was my freaking childhood. All that's out the door. I'm going with these indie emulation companies. So hopefully we'll actually see some American companies that put out some cooler designs and more powerful units than the Retroid 4, which is what I'm currently playing on. But yeah, so anyway, let me know what you think. Are you getting the new Nintendo Switch? You know, what games are you actually enjoying on the Nintendo Switch, or are you in the same boat and you're like, get out of here, Nintendo, until you actually make something, I'm not giving you any more money. Are you also going to sell your Switch? Let me know what's going on with you in the comments below. And yeah, have a better week than me. And if you want to support me making this content directly, jump on the Patreon. We're also making indie games over there, so we'll be supporting an indie game developer, this Panda Mind Studio. Link in the description below. And yeah, bye.